Okay, Nick and Andy, let's preview and give our prediction for Fulham against Arsenal. Big London derby coming up at Craven Cottage after the international break. Obviously, Arsenal are top of the table heading into this match week, Nick. They go to Fulham, and I can't work Fulham out. They're like what I'd call a funny team. They can play well, be dominant, but then also have a nightmare and look shaky all over the place within the space of about 10 minutes during a game. What do you make of them? Because it seems like Marco Silva's made some good signings this summer. A few new ones are settling in, obviously, but almost on the edge of stalling a little bit his project at Fulham. But it's felt like that way a few times over the last few seasons, and they always seem to recover. So what do you expect from them? Because they're a tough team, and they have caused upsets the last few years.
Yeah, they're a real tricky team to read. And the reason is they seem to bring in players and you think they're going to be stars. And then Marco Silva almost does the Eddie Howe, speaking from a Newcastle perspective, where he waits a little while to really bed that player in. I always expected we were going to see more of Emile Smith-Rowe when he first got there, and that took some time. I feel the same way about Samu Chukwueze right now. I feel the same way about Kevin, who looks really exciting, but has just slowly came off the bench. So I don't feel like I know who their best team is right now. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It just feels like they are a slow rollout every year. And if you look at the way they've performed this season, I just have major questions about where the goals are going to come from, because they're leaning on an Alex Iwobi to produce magic. And I like him a lot as a player. He's steady. I would actually say he's probably underrated, but like Raul Jimenez, Muniz, where are the consistent goals? Where's their Mitrovic? Where's their Clint Dempsey?
It's true. It's not right there, Andy. I mean, we don't have to have that same worry about Arsenal at the moment, though, do we? Because they got players stepping up from all over the place to score goals, to contribute. I mean, this is what we thought it might be like, but it's been more impressive than even the most optimistic sort of analysts would have thought ahead of this season, with the squad depth and all the rest of it. It's just been cranked up another notch, it feels like, of Arsenal. There's less jeopardy in their games. There's more control. What do you make of them? And, you know, they must have taken a lot of confidence from the start to the season, where they've had a lot of very difficult games.
Yeah, I do think they've got everything they need this season. The way that they've built the squad, it's not just big names, it's not just the most talented players, it's players who can perform a couple of different roles in the team. And I think we're going to see it with Eze now that Odegaard is going to be out for a few weeks. His ability to play there on the left and replace Trossard or Martinelli, or if he needs to drop in and be the most advanced attacking central midfielder in there, he can do that job probably better. I think that's probably where he's most effective, or where I think, at least in this team with the talent that's around him, he can combine more in those spaces. So I think maybe, obviously you don't want to lose a player like Martin Odegaard, but I do think that we could see a little bit of a surge from them. And I think just getting him to play in one position over the course of the next month or so, I think will also probably help him settle in as well. And even the back line, you've got players that can play multiple spots around. Timber can play both sides. Calafiori's a rock there on the left side. I feel like slot in and play center back in a tough situation as well. There is depth all over the place. There's quality all over the place. They have everything that they need to win the title this season. And with Liverpool kind of slipping up a little bit early in the season and not looking their best, City in clearly a transitional period, I think they have to win the title this season.
I'm with you. I think they have to as well. And Nick, I guess this is the kind of game where in previous seasons, this is where they have slipped up in terms of not winning the title that they probably should have, where they've, in a weird way, we know they can perform now against the big boys away from home, pick up results, but it has been these kind of, I think it was against Fulham, they lost in the last few seasons, and it was against West Ham and teams where you think they'd roll up and win 2-3-0 and it'd be pretty comfortable. So this is a big test of a step forward after an international break. Players have been all over the world playing. This is when it really kicks into, we are serious about winning the title and getting over the line this season. I think we're going to learn a lot about Arsenal in this game.
Yeah, and for the Arsenal haters, if it falls apart, it is going to be hysterical, because there is an arrogance with the way they play. And I don't know that they're truly prepared for it to not go their way this year. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, Mikel Arteta brought it last year and it seemed a little displaced. But the way you watch Gabriel play, Calafiori play, they're out there with, I don't want to be the on a mission guy because it's cliche. Every team wants to win every game, but there is an anger. There is a, like, it has to happen part of it, because if it doesn't happen, where do you go from here? I think at their best, if you were to take every competitor out there, at their best, at City's best, at Liverpool's best, I think Arsenal are just ahead of City. And I know you guys are down on City, so this is probably a conversation for another day. But I'm just using that to say they really are the best. Like that I'm putting the jinx on it. I can see Andy smiling, but they should win this year. Maybe they should have won last year. And I just don't know where they go if they don't win this year.
It's true, right, Andy? I mean, given the amount that they've spent, this is... We've been saying this a lot. This is the make or break season in Mikel Arteta's project, but this is truly it now. This is put your money where your mouth is, win us a trophy, and then we can move on to the next step.
Yeah, absolutely done with the excuses, the reasons, whatever. There can be none this season for Arsenal, and that was kind of my point with what I said earlier, is they kind of have to win the title. I think Arteta does have to win the title this season, and not to save his job. I don't think he's in jeopardy of that in any way. He's built a great project there, and they're obviously a very good team. But if they're going to ever get over the hump, if they don't do it this season, and we've had this conversation for the last couple of years as well, at what point do players start to say, well, can I actually win the title here at Arsenal? Do I need to leave if I want to do that in my career? I think this could finally be that breaking point for Arteta, and maybe then he has to rethink some of his ways.
It'll get unbearable. Honestly, like I'm not trying to doom and gloom this as like the Buffalo Bills fan who hasn't, made it to the Super Bowl in a few years, but he will start being asked questions and questioning things that are not realistic, because when you have a team that you can argue is the best and you don't come out on top this long, I can't even imagine what his off season would be like. And that's where the pressure isn't, can you do it? It's the fear that creeps in when you think that you might not.
And that's why I like Arsenal's chances this season, I think, because in the nicest way possible, they are very boring in terms of their mentality, and they are just almost machine-like focused, laser focused. They've been through it several seasons now where they've come close, and I think they do know exactly what they need to do. And again, luck, a few breaks, injuries, we all know how it works out, but I think there's a very clear opportunity with City going in transition. Still, probably not at their best or close to it at the moment right now. Probably in a year or so now, they will be close to their best with this new squad they've assembled. And then the issues, like we said, that Liverpool have had, it's all aligned. The stars are aligning for Arsenal this season. That's the way it seems to me right now. But for this game, Nick, Fulham against Arsenal, I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Arsenal. Seems about right. I feel like Fulham just hang in there in games. They cause enough chaos, problems, counter-attacks, etc. But I feel like Arsenal will just find a way to get the job done. What do you think, mate?
I think the West Ham game, to me, is Arsenal. It's controlling. It's a multi-goal win. And you're wondering, why is it 2-0 every game? Like, this is team 2-goal win for them. So I think 2-0 is the call there too.
Andy?
Yeah, no Jimenez, no Muniz for Fulham, no goals for them. I'll give Arsenal a couple. I'll go 2-0 as well.
There you go. Head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for all the latest. Fulham against Arsenal in West London, under the lights, down by the banks of the River Thames. Going to be a beauty. Let's see how Arsenal react after the international break. The pressure, if you could call it that, of being top of the table. And Fulham, we know they love a surprise, so let's see if they can pull off an upset this weekend. It's going to be a good one.
Even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.